Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with Lindsay Bjorklund. I am traveling today for those of you that are on the video side and see I'm not in my regular spot, but we're going to rock this anyway. Today is the Ask Mike Anything. You guys submit questions, owners of cleaning companies, and we do what we can to give you some value. So that said, the lovely Lindsay's got the questions. In a perfect world, I'll have the answers. Let's get this party started.
Awesome, Mike. Well, Virginia posted a while back in the Facebook group, and I'm sorry, Virginia, this took me forever to get back to you, but she wanted to know, how does she find pain points or anything that dentist offices usually suffer or want in a cleaning?
All right, hold on. Will you ask that again? How can I find pain point? If she's just asking how do I get pain points for my clients, you ask them. Like that's the super easy part, right?
Right.
So I want to encourage you two things. One, for everybody, the entire, I shouldn't say the entire, 80% of the sales conversation for residential, for commercial, for dentists, for housewives, is just understanding their pain, right? So the whole goal of the sales conversation is not only to get you clear on what the problem is, but to get them clear on what the problem is. So you can either, and then so you can do your best to help them. And if you are confident you are the best in the world to help them, then you will offer to solve their problem with your service. And if you're not, you can give them a referral or try and point them in a direction that would help. But most people want to solve the problem before they're clear on what it is. They want to jump to solutions. So most of them, not most, many clients are just like, I just want the most clean for the least money. But when you have a conversation, you'll realize that's not the case. So you can say, got it. So if we've got a prisoner, violent criminal work release program, you'd like me to put those in your home if it saves you. And they're going to go, well, no, I don't want that. I'm like, got it. And liability insurance, iffy, we're okay if that's up to date or not. No, 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 we need that. Got it. And you'd like us to clean the whole house, not just part. Got it. So we're not looking for really the cheapest price. We're looking for they've got a problem, and they think it's going to be clean. But the reality is, the way I forget which mentor of mine I heard this from, but it's communicated so clearly. There's a surface problem, which is I have something dirty and I'd like it to be clean. And there are the consequences to that problem, which are more important. And then what you really want in a good, and this is for all sales, but obviously it works with owners of cleaning companies. The real lever or leverage or value you can bring to the client is when you get the consequences of the consequences. So the superficial pain might be my cleaners never get the baseboards done. Fine. And usually we'll stop there. And even worse, we won't stop there. We'll start selling. Oh, well, our people do baseboards all the time. We're amazing. We're the best thing ever. And it's like, well, you don't think the other person said they were amazing and they did that, and you don't think all of your competitors, like, what are we doing? So when everybody says the exact same thing, we're better at cleaning than everybody else. The only way they can make a decision is based on price, which isn't helpful to them because no one understands the problem, including them. So they just pick the cheapest price. And paradoxically, the cheapest price is probably the least equipped or understand to solve their problem. So they either get lucky or they just keep scrolling through low priced quote unquote solutions. So the superficial pain would be there's dust on my thing. The consequences of that pain would be when I come home, I feel stressed out instead of relaxed. The consequences of those consequences might be I snap at my kids. And people aren't going to pay a lot of money to get their baseboards clean. They can do that in 10 seconds. They'll pay much more money to come home and feel good about themselves, and they'll pay more still to come home and be the mom that they want to be. So we'll do one real quick on the commercial side since Virginia's asking about dentists. So for dentists, superficial pain, same thing. It looks dirty when you come into the office. The consequences of that would be our clients complain. The consequences of the consequences would be this dentist who presumably has spent more than a decade and hundreds of thousands of dollars on learning how to solve a very specific problem, can't solve that problem or has to worry about, or clients don't want him to solve that problem, or everyone's worrying about the wrong gosh darn thing because they want to save $150 a month on their cleaning services. So the simple answer for Virginia is you ask them what their pain is. The more detailed answers, you want to get this, they're going to give you the superficial pain. That's fine. You want to get the consequences of that pain in their personal lives and the consequences of the consequences. And on the commercial side, there may be multiple people, right? So the let's go with the dentist's office. If it's a larger office that's got 4 or 5 dentists and a bunch of techs, there might be an office manager who's going to be a heavy influencer, but one main dentist or the dentist as a whole might be there's never a whole decision maker. There's only one. So we might, and they're probably going to have different pains, right? The office manager just wants to look good and not get yelled at and feel like she's doing a good job or he's doing a good job. The dentist has got the pain that we talk about. So short answer, you just ask them. And a little bonus coaching, and we'll move on to the next question, is this is a great way to sell without selling. So if you're just starting in a niche and you're trying to get to know who they are, you can instead of saying, hey, call now for a free estimate, or can I come out and give you a bid, which you're going to get a lot of no's, which is fine, but it's just harder to get a yes. You can say, I'm just starting to serve dentists. I've been in commercial cleaning for whatever, but I'm just starting. Could I just get 10 minutes of your time, maybe even offer them a $25 gift, just to have you tell me what the complaints are, what makes you miserable about your cleaning company? And they'll say one of two things. One, I'm not miserable at all. I love them. And if you get too many of that, you're probably in the wrong niche, right? If everybody's happy with their cleaning company, when I go to the married group at my church and keep asking women on dates and keep hearing the same answer while I'm married, no, thank you. I could keep asking more women, or I could just go to a different group. I'm going to go to a different group and go, why don't I try the singles group? See if I get a different response there. If I go to the elderly group and I'm in my 20s, there's lots of ways. So all that to say, bonuses, you can use this as a way to get that information before you have an appointment. And oftentimes when you ask the questions and you help them get clarity that they've not been able to get on their own, and their current cleaner or no cleaner before them has gotten clarity, oftentimes they'll just go, why don't you just give me a bid? Which is great. So again, you're not trying to trick them and like, I'm really trying to sell you and I'm just using this as a thin veneer. You really are trying to understand their pain and help them get clear, and you get clear. And that's it. If they wait, if they're kind of waiting for you, you're going to keep your word? Are you going to sell me? Where you just like, nope, I'm good to go. But if they go, well, geez, oh, Pete's, could you give me a bid? Well, you're not going to be a jerk about it. The answer is, of course, we'd be happy to. All right. I think that was a long answer to a short question, but for those of you who've been here more than 10 seconds, that's how we do. What did I miss, Lindsay, or anything you want to add?
No, you answered my question, because my question was going to be, well, if Virginia is relatively new to the niche and doesn't have a lot of people, a lot of dentists yet, like, how would she find out? You just said, ask them. My mind made it way too complicated. I was like, oh, is this going to be weird if I was in her shoes? And I like walked into a dentist office, but the way you framed it made a lot of sense.
And on the commercial side, it's super. I'll give you one for each and then we'll move on. On the commercial side, it's super easy. If you call ahead and ask whoever the front desk person is, what food does everybody like? And they tell you, go, could I bring that food? And all asking exchange is, y'all just tell me what makes you crazy about I'm not going to sell you nothing, I promise, but could I eat the food with you? Maybe you guys could, I'm trying to understand this. You're going to that's an easy yes. And on the residential side, you can offer a free clean or a half price clean or something like that in exchange for like a positive 5-star review, for them to have that conversation with you. Maybe the opportunity then I would say, hey, if we do a good job on the free clean, can I at least give you a bid? So with all sales and marketing, just think give first, not even take, just serve first. And when you do a good job serving, they're going to ask you for help, which is so much better than trying to sell someone or like talk them into something they don't want to do.
Love it. All right. Moving on to the second question. Allison posted in the Facebook group that she is having high turnover with her employees. She says either I have to fire them because they're not reliable and can't clean well, or they are good and they're just not reliable. She said so far she's held interviews. Say, for example, she'll have 7 people booked to come into a group interview, it sounds like, and only one shows up. She's done Facebook, she's done Indeed to try to find people. How do you expand if you can't find reliable workers? She's tired of waking up in the morning to call offs, and it's just taking a toll on her, and she's not sure what to do.
It's really, really common with owners of cleaning companies. We really help people solve 3 main problems. One is they're not as profitable as they want, which for me, as a coach, that's like my number one thing. But most people, for some reason, don't focus on that. They're just focused on more customers. So 2 is obviously getting more customers. And the third one is I'm afraid to even get more customers because I can't do the work and I'm miserable at the level I'm at. So Allison, super common. Good news is it's a very solvable problem. We help people do it all day, every day. I'll do everything I can, kind of in this one-way conversation to help you with that. And if you want to reach out, happy to give you a little more, either myself or one of the coaches give you, or if you're someone else sharing the same problem, you're like, oh, that's such a good help. That was helpful, but it's like 10%, I need more. Feel free to reach out. We have coaches or myself. We will do our best to help. So see what I did there? You guys can reach out. We give lots of help. Some of you will go, thank you for the free help. Goodbye. And we'll go, goodbye. Best of luck in your life. And some of you go, well, could I just pay you guys to do this for me? I'm like, yeah, we can talk about that. So perfect example of just give first, no expectation. Um, and the right people will sign, serve them all, let God sort them out. Okay. So there's a lot of things going on, Allison. For our clients, one of the first things we have them do is track, the data, the key data. So when I hear things like high turnover, I don't know what that means. So if I've hired 23 people, I tried to hire 23 people in the last 6 months, 18 started, and all 18 of them have churned. That would be one thing. Oftentimes it can be like, it's not that. So without any data, and then also like you gave an interview example. I'm just looking at my notes here that Lindsay sent over. All of seven booked, for an interview, all seven booked and one shows up. That's fine. If you get 200 booked and 20 show up and you only need three or four, you're good to go. So there's lots of things. Typically, the reason people struggle, there's two big reasons people struggle to hire and keep good employees. Also, when I hear something, by the way, just as an aside, Lindsay said, I've got people that are good, but not reliable. They're not good. That's like saying I've got an Uber driver, he just crashes a lot. It's like, then he's not a good Uber. He's a really good Uber driver, he just crashes. It's like, no, then he's a bad Uber driver. There is no such thing as an unreliable good employee. Like Lindsay, who I love, she's amazing. But if she only showed up half the time I asked her to, or only did 72% of what we talked about, then she could still be a good person. I could still love her as a human, but she wouldn't be great at her job. So Allison, I just want to encourage you, all of you, Clean Nation, get that lie from the pit of hell. They're really good. Like they're really good at cleaning, but they don't show up to clean. It's like, yeah, that's part of the job. Like you can't, that's non-negotiable. They're a really good cleaner. They show up all the time with that bad breath. Like that's a good cleaner that we can talk about, but they're really good when they're not drunk. It's like, well, that's not really good. That's a problem. All right. So there, I just had to get over that. Now let's talk about globally what needs to happen. It's always one of two things, or two of two things, quantity and quality. That's really it. So in the interview process or the hiring process, most of the time, owners have a process that either doesn't work, or more often it works to hire employees. It's just so painful. They turn it off before it's ready. Like I, got 7 interviews and I do them one by one and only 2 show up and they all suck. And then I had to call sick, I got 100 applications and I got overwhelmed and I told my friends and family, I called all of them, but I really called 18 before I gave up. And of those 18, I booked 7 appointments, and of those 7 appointments, 2 showed up. And of those 2 showed up, I knew neither of them fit right when they walked in. And then I just went, forget it. I don't want to do any of this, right? It's more painful for me to try and hire somebody than it is just to deal with, Lindsay not showing up half the time, or whoever your guy or gal is.
Mike Campion here. Do you ever listen to the podcast and go, this is great information, I just wish I could actually get it implemented, and I wish I could get some help? Well, we do that. If you would like either myself or my team's help actually coming up with a plan that's specialized to you and your business, because with these podcasts, obviously we have to be very general and we can only go 20 minutes at a time. If you'd like to jump on a call with myself or my team, go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. We'll jump on a call. There's no charge, and we'll help you get some absolute clarity around exactly what to do next and how to do it. The reason we don't charge for these calls is the plan that we come up with, people want help implementing that. If that's the case, we're happy to talk about it. And if it's not, that's okay too. We're happy to just help you come up with a plan. So if you want to translate the information you're learning here into an actual plan that can change your life, give us a ring, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. Love to either myself or have one of our coaches walk you through and actually personalize the content you get here to where you're at with your business. Talk soon.
So that's almost always the process. So you want to upgrade your process to make it more automated. So like what we do for our clients is we just have an automated hiring system, 2 group interviews a week. We put together, you'll need we have our hiring ad. We overlay it with your core values. So you want to create a core values based hiring ad, not a boring one that's the same as everybody else. Fast growing company looking for hardworking employees, flexible hours, competitive pay. It's just so boring. So yeah, Lindsay's doing the like, oh, so make sure it's a core values based. Like for us, it might be, are you the most real person do you like having fun when you get to work? Is it important to you to have it make a change in the world? We're going to talk about values, not the specific, fast pay, blah, blah, whatever the heck it is. So you'll want a core values based hiring funnel. That gets to the quantity, which we'll come to in a second, the quality, but the quantity is just having an automated funnel that's not painful, that's on all the time, right? We try to dial our applicants and our starts to our workers, and it's never going to work out. So we're always short on workers. What we need to do is just have more workers than we want or than we need. And people are like, oh my God. And I'm not saying you have to hire everybody, right? When I go on a date with somebody, before I married my beautiful bride, I'd been on more than one date. I didn't marry everyone. Like they didn't expect they went on more than one date. We're all kind of looking for a good match, and they understand they might have to go on several dates to get a good match. So it's okay to interview a bunch of people and have them go through some or most or all of an interview process and just not go forward. It's okay, right? You got two pains you can choose. More people coming in, you having to go, gosh, we just don't have a spot for you now, Lindsay, which I don't know why people are so afraid of. Like people are like, okay. Or you don't even have to tell them you don't have a spot. You can just be like, we're not going to move forward in the interview process. Like you don't owe them an explanation. But most of the time, if you have the people that you need, you can still top grade. Maybe we've got some B and C players and Lindsay's an A applicant. I'm going to put her in. We can do floaters. There's all sorts of options you have when you have lead flow for employees and customers. So step one is to have a scalable system, like we do a 3-step group interview, one-on-one interview, working interview. The employees run the whole gosh darn thing. The process to get people to come to the first interview, quality people, is all automated. So you want to set up a system which is just beyond the scope of this particular broadcast or any 20-minute broadcast, frankly. That's going to help on the quality side, or the quantity side. Sorry. So if your process is time consuming and painful and you hate it, think through a process that would be better. And again, the way we do it is the group interview, one-on-one interview, working interview, and it's 3 different people over 3 different times in 3 different places. So you might be a control freak, like, I got to interview everybody. But believe it or not, if you have 3 good core values matched employees and they individually all say yes over a span of a week to the same candidate, their picker is going to be combined knowledge of their picker is going to be better than yours 100% of the time. And the nice thing is you're not involved with that. They're doing everything, right? And if you're like, well, they're not going to want to do that. Well, they will. The right ones will, because everyone's always like, if you do a good job, we're going to promote you. But there's nowhere to promote them to. You make up all these weird admin jobs and then that's when you come to us, not making any money. So instead of saying we're going to promote you, just build your skills, right? Like Lindsay, perfect example. She's been quote unquote at the same job since she got here years ago, but she's making more money. She's way more skilled and valuable than she was, and she's got a lot more authority. Her job is increased in scope because she's gotten better. So you can tell them we're going to pour into you. We're going to teach how to train, how to onboard, how to be a leader. And those skills they can take anywhere in the world. So that's the quantity side. Have a scalable hiring process that doesn't make you miserable. The quality side, it's got to be core values based. Like we hammer this drum all the time. Again, I always pick on Lindsay because she's here and she seems to put up with it. When she got here, perfect core values match. For us, it's have fun, make money, be real, and help out. I didn't convince Lindsay, hey, if you're going to be here, you're going to have to show up having fun, making money. You're going to have to pretend to be real. Like that would just be weird. And she'd fail pretty quickly if that's not who she is, right? Like that's a weird thing to ask. Lindsay was out in the world before she ever met me, having fun, making money, being real, helping out. Maybe she got that at the job that she was at. Maybe she didn't, but that's what she did in life because that's who she was. Guessing she didn't at the job she had or she wouldn't be here. So I didn't go, Lindsay, here's how you got to act. I put out a hiring ad. We had a hiring funnel that would repel people that didn't share those values. And the people that did share those values go, oh my gosh, this is what I've been looking for. This is where I want, right? So we don't try and put square Lindsay pegs into our round company holes. We find round Lindsay pegs and they fit nicely into what we got going on. So the core values is really important for you to articulate it. And again, notice when I say have fun, make money, be real, help out. We're not like embrace frivolity and, maximize profitability no one understands what that means, right? When I go have fun, Lindsay and my 9-year-old and every other English speaking person goes, yeah, I got it. Whereas you can get all corporate. So really that's the 2 things. Make a system that is scalable, that doesn't make you crazy, and have that system just overlaced, interwoven with your core values so you track the people. Because here's the deal. If you have someone that's a perfect core values match and sucks at cleaning, they can someone's inviting me to huddle, but I can't. they'll do a great job because they're gonna, Lindsay's gonna have fun, be real, help out, make money. All of those things are mean she's gonna do everything she can, do a great job, even if the training you give her sucks. She's the best training in the world, but her attitude is kind of pissy and I'm the best and I don't want to work with anyone and I know everything and I'm not real coachable. She might be a great cleaner, but she's gonna be a good fit for a team. So, all right, I think we've got time to squeeze one more in, Lindsay.
Can I squeeze a quick anecdote in instead?
Of course.
That I think will be helpful to Cleaning Nation. As you know, Mike, and Cleaning Nation might have heard, I've been doing a lot of hiring, right, for our team. And I just went through a round of interviews yesterday to add someone on the team. And we had so many qualified people, and we do group interviews also, very similar to what we do with our cleaners.
And we have a core values-based hiring ad.
We do. And it was so funny, Mike, to see this in action because, there were so many qualified people and they had great portfolios for what we were looking for. But there was this young woman that just came on and she was so excited and just her vibe right away. I mean, her portfolio was amazing, but she was just having fun in the interview. She wanted to help out. She explained how she helped out. I was just like, that's it. That's a core values match, like immediately. So it was just kind of cool to see it when you can do a group interview and A and B people right away. It makes your job so much easier to hire. So I just wanted Cleaning Nation to know it's like we practice what we preach, even though we're not a cleaning company technically. It really does make a huge difference hiring with core values. So that was me and my soapbox. Sorry.
No, I want to add something to it, and I promise we'll get another quick one in. I've been doing this for a decade and always preaching to our clients and to you, to anyone who will listen, the value of the group interview. And I thought I had all the values down. That's a really good one. And I always knew it, but I never articulate to our clients or to you guys. So thank you, Lindsay. That ability to see people amongst other people, like have fun, make money, be real, help out. If I just get to talk to Lindsay, she's so good, it's pretty obvious. But when I have her with other people who aren't that, again, same with dating, right? Like I've never done a speed dating thing, but I can see the value of if I speed dated with Lindsay and I kind of had a medium thing and I'm like, I don't know, not so sure. And then I see someone that's a perfect fit. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so much more clear, right? There's a reason they show diamonds on a black background, or they'll compare kind of a mediocre diamond next to a perfect diamond. Because if you just look at the mediocre diamond in the real world, you're like, looks good to me. You can't tell. But when you put it right next to a perfect one, you're like, oh, so that's a really excellent point, Lindsay. Okay, cool. We got like 5 minutes. I'm gonna force to be less verbose. Hit me with
okay.
Easy
all
one.
right. Let me summarize this next question. All right, we got Tracy posted in the Facebook group. Needs help handling a biweekly client. Client is extremely kind and sweet, but frequently complains about minor things, and it's becoming exhausting for poor Tracy. This client also complains about pricing, saying her neighbor gets their 2,500 square foot house cleaned for only $100. Tracy said, I told her I understand if she wants to explore other options, but she insists being able to communicate with me, blah, blah, blah. It's becoming a pattern, happens almost every clean. Tracy's tired of it. She's looking for advice on how to let this person go professionally without seeming rude. Or is Tracy just overreacting and needs to deal with it?
No, gosh, Tracy, I'd give you a hug for that question. I really, really like it. So first and foremost, let me encourage all of you listening, not just Tracy. You have every right to set boundaries as to who you'd like to work with. Funny, we talk about hiring. One of the things because I like to think we pay a little better than average, but not the best, right? If Lindsay was just about the money, she'd get I shouldn't say a better job, but a higher paying job probably tomorrow. Not because we screw people, just like, it's, if you're just looking for money, there's almost always someone that'll pay more. So when we're talking with clients, I guess what I was going to say is one of the things I sell our team on, in addition to our core values, is our clients. Like they're the best. And, we love all of you guys. Some of you are a little bit of a pain in the butt now and again, but always respectful, always a core values match. Some of you just need a little extra love and it can be a pain in the neck, but we love you guys. And the vast majority are just delightful, but no people are just a-holes or whatever. So that's something we can kind of sell our team on, right? Like our people are the best. And that comes from us being super selective about who we take, right? We might get 400 applications in a month. We might take a couple dozen. So we say no or they say no like 200, 300, 400 times to get 10, 20, 30 people. All that to say, on clients, you have every right to say no, thank you. Like, you do not owe anybody, like, I don't like those signs that are like, we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Cause like, well, 99.9% of the people you're not. So why are you kind of getting fussy with me? I just walked in for a sandwich, man. Like, what do you think? I'm assuming you reserve the right to like without the sign, I could, not leave and say there's no sign. Sorry, different rant. But all that to say, first and foremost, Tracy, can't emphasize enough, you have every right to choose the clients that you want. And I personally want to work with the people I want to work with. And that's really important to me. I'd rather make less money and love my team and the people I work with and more money and work with people I don't respect or don't like or don't enjoy. Now, different people are in different financial spots, right? So I'm not saying that's for everybody. When I was younger and had less money, I was a little less, I still wouldn't tolerate anything, but I was more tolerant than I am now. And funnily enough, the less tolerant I've been of who I accept and don't accept, the more money I tend to make. But I get the reality of that being scary. So you kind of have to be on your own, like what kind of tolerance you're going to have. But from I just want to give you permission. You shouldn't feel guilty. Like, oh, I'm just being a baby, I should just put up with it. No, you shouldn't. If that's not who you want to work with, fine. Because again, we all have finite resources, right? We can't take it. If I gave any of you 100 clients today, you probably would crumple, right? So there is a limit, right? So this woman that's making you nuts is taking a spot from someone that could make you really happy, or really you could, and vice versa, right? Sounds like you're driving her nuts. So all that to say, you asked two questions. Am I being a baby? And if not, how do I do it? So no, you're not being a baby. I would actually really encourage you as a leader for your team, for yourself, even for the client to just, if it's not a good fit, cut ties. All right, on the how to do it. Because she seems nice and it's not a core values mismatch, I don't know that I'm not going to start with firing her. I'm going to start with setting boundaries, right? I'm going to take responsibility. Hey, Lindsay, I got to be honest. I really like you as a person. And again, I'm going to make some assumptions, so don't say anything not true, right? So I'm going to assume my relationship because I don't have any details. I really like you as a person. And when we first started working together, I used to love talking to you. But now I feel like every time I see you on the caller ID or text or have they reach out, I'm like, oh, it's freaking Lindsay. I don't want to feel that way about you. And quite frankly, you deserve a cleaner that makes you happy, right? If I'm going to drive you nuts every goddamn day, why would you pay me to make you miserable? And no offense, we got lots of people that want our services. Why would I, so one of two things. One, if you think, and maybe you can, I'm not saying you can't, you can get someone that's a better fit. Let's just do that. And if you want us to work for you, here's what we can and can't do. And here's the boundaries. And if you can be happy with this, we're happy to provide the service. But the service that you're looking for, we can't or won't provide, or you can't afford, right? I'm sure, like if you want to call every time, it's going to be more. And if you think someone can do it for $100, then do that, please. So I'm not angry with you. I just want to have a real conversation about what's best for the both of us. And I want you to be happy and I want me to be happy. So here's what it's going to require for me to be happy. And here's what we can and can't do for you. And if that works, let's hold hands and skip and it'll be great. And if it doesn't work, we'll still be friends. You'll just skip with somebody else. Is that cool? So just be super clear, set some boundaries, be clear on what you can and can't do. All right. That was a little ranty, but we went a little long. Tracy, everyone with the questions, of course, Lindsay, I appreciate you. Like I said, if you are, hopefully this has been helpful. If you're getting the life that you want, congratulations. That's not the case for most people. So just take a breath and give yourself a pat on the back and be thankful that you're having the life that you want. If your business isn't providing the life that you want, feel free to reach out to us or to somebody, do something different. Don't keep doing the same thing, hoping for different results. We all know that's crazy. Appreciate the time and attention. We'll talk soon. See ya.
Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it. And we sure appreciate your time and attention.